Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. Glad you're here this morning. We've got a special guest. But first, our weather brought to us by Haney Technical Center at the corner of Baldwin and Highway 77. Well, it looks like it's going to be a rainy week. But it looks like it's going to be good for the weekend, so that's the good news. So anyway, it is what it is, and we'll just go with it. But about 80% chance today and about 90% chance tomorrow. Interesting high of 81 and a low of actually all the way down to 69. But the water temperature is 82 degrees now. So it's 2 degrees higher than it was yesterday. So it has really moved up. River readings, Apalachicola, Bluntstown, 4.5. That's the first time it's been under 5 foot in quite some time. 4.5, and still got a little drop to it. The Choctaw Caryville, 2.6. That's below 3 foot, folks, and it's looking really good. Heard some really good reports from the Choctaw River system. Tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. We're looking at a high tide at 9:13 this morning and a low at 7:21, and now we're back in a really good strong tides, especially this weekend. So if we work it out between the rain and the tides, we're going to be in really good shape. Our marine forecast be east, southeast at about 10 to 15. Our weather system, the low pressure is to the east of us, and that's what we're getting. And just have to sit by and see what which way it moves and all. But that's the reason we went about 3 or 4 weeks without any rain. But now looks like we're going to catch up on it. So let's take our break. We'll be right back with our guest. Welcome back, and look who's here this morning.
Wandered in off the street.
My buddy Bill.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, man, good to have you. We're finally getting together. We just took our fly fishing camping trip up there in western North Carolina. We've been talking about we got to come together on the show and talk about it. And we got a unique setup. Bill brought some pictures and some little videos. And then next week we're going to put a big video in, so we're going to really get it covered because it's such a fun trip. But anyway, before we get to fly fishing, what you been up to this past week or so?
Not a whole lot. This weather's been absolutely gorgeous. Did manage to go out a couple of times, and we pompano fished, and went out with some friends to the island this weekend. It was absolutely beautiful.
And it was pretty well crowded, wasn't it? I saw a picture.
Yes. It's full force. They're out in full force, and I got a new boat, and so we went further down, away to
it is fascinating. We talked about this on the show, Bill, and we've talked about it before too. You grew up here and all. Growing up and all, hardly anyone ever went out there. But now everybody and brother seems to be going out there. What do you think caused it?
Well, there are just more people with boats.
Yeah.
There weren't that many boats back then.
That's
right. We used to go a lot. Like when I was in high school, we'd go over there and camp when the surf was up.
Camping and all.
And we'd surf, there on the island, pretty much undisturbed.
Undisturbed. But you know what? I look at that. I see those pictures over the weekend on Sunday nights and all. I saw the pictures and all the people, or if I'm out there. But that's good for the fishermen because what it does, it concentrates, honestly now, it concentrates all of the boaters in one area. Now it takes away that area for fishing, but the rest of the area is sort of freed up.
Absolutely. You just have to be, that's a lot of boats on the water.
Yeah.
And, they get there at different times during the day, but for the most part, everybody leaves at the same time. Mm-hmm. And you just have to be careful. You have to constantly be looking out for the other guy.
How, I don't participate in that. So what, is the speed a problem? Usually if you got that many people, you're going to have 1 or 2 people acting the fool. Is that much of a problem? Most of them families and all that.
Well, there are a lot of families, but it's, I think it's just numbers. It's volume. And there's no, you don't have the road like you do to ride a car on. So.
Yeah. And the same thing over at Choctaw Bay at Crab Island, where the Destin Bridge goes over, that what they call Crab Island. It's just wall-to-wall boats. And I'm telling you, all you people in the east part of our viewing area, it's coming your way. Don't think you got off the hook, because now everybody's going to the tip of the Cape.
Yeah.
And now that's the latest fad and fashion we're seeing boating. So
it's just you've got to constantly have your head on a swivel and just watch what other people are doing and you know.
As long as they don't
stay out of the way.
As long as they don't start getting in our fishing spots, like I don't anticipate anything happening in the lower end of the Apalachicola River
I don't
system.
think so either.
I don't think they're going to get in those rivers and creeks up there.
I don't think you'll have that issue. But, you know, Shell Island's a wonderful resource, and I love going out there. And it's great to be able to go out there, and the people who are out there, you know, really enjoy it. And most people, in general, clean up after themselves. You don't find a lot of crap over there. And then you see those families who will just grab a couple of garbage bags and walk down the beach picking not their stuff up, but other people's stuff that might have gotten out there. So, you know, people take care of the things that they love to do.
Yeah, I think what you see is just a reflection of our society, and those sportsmen, for the most part, though, they go out of their way to help out. All right, now, let's talk about our fishing trip that we went up there to the mountains and all. Tell us the reason you started going and give us a background to it up there.
Ooh, well, my dad fished there, and my family's from North Carolina. My mother's side of the family's from that little Robbinsville, Andrews area, and then over on the other side, Dad was from Asheville, but he spent a great deal of time over there, and you know he loved fly fishing, and so we would go, you know, because I was born here, but we would go back, you know, during the summers, and I started fly fishing real early, and through when I was in high school, and of course then going to school and playing ball and stuff like that, it just became, you know, and Dad was a little bit older. He was 38 when I was born, so you know, those streams are tough. Yeah. And it was really tough this time. Yeah. So Cliff and I, my brother-in-law, started going back about, I would say 15 years ago now. We were trying to figure that out, and it was like, he just called, and Cliff fly fishing North Georgia, and he asked me about the mountains and things like that. So we just, one weekend, we just packed up, took off, just the two of us, and went up there, and we've been going spring and fall ever since. It was just the two of us for 5 or 6 years, and then as our kids got out of college and they got old enough, and we start, you know, we've sometimes had 10 or 12 up there between brother-in-laws and nephews, and you know. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and me, and I just tag along. We just had a great time. We're going to take a quick break. We got all kinds of pictures. We're going to talk more about this fly fishing trip. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. It's my buddy Bill Allen, and we're going to talk about a fly fishing trip and camping trip. But first, we got a couple of local pictures, and I got a lot more local pictures tomorrow. I sort of spread them out for a couple of days. I know y'all are really good about sending them to me on Sunday night. I try to sort of spread them out during the week, but this one right here, Bill, it's Marcus Lee Parish, and a proud moment for 7-year-old Jasmine Johnson, Jess Johnson, and me. Little Miss Jasmine got her very first pompano today, all by herself. She asked me a couple of times to help, but I didn't, and I kept telling her she could do it, and she did a great job. A nice one, a good 12-inch one. Coach Chester, please make her famous. So there you are, Jasmine. You are now a famous young lady. Very nice pompano. That looks familiar, don't it?
It does.
That looks good. I love to see a kid with a pompano. Yeah. All right, now one more picture real quick. Let's go to a big one, a big smoker, and this is what we call a smoker. Matt Paramore, this is Ken's son, and Bill, that's a nice one, isn't it?
And that's probably, that could be a $50,000 fish. You know,
we could win some tournaments with that one.
Take that all day long.
All right, so that's a good one. Appreciate y'all sending them. Now, we'll get up there on our trip. We have about 9 hours it took us?
Yeah, by the time we make a stop there for buying those groceries local that we do, and then get up to the actual mountain, it's about 9 hours.
Yeah, and to get gas on one time. We had a nice trip, nice truck.
Yeah.
So anyway, we get up there and get the camp set up, but it just got finished raining, so everything was muddy.
It rained for 2 or 3 days. It was pretty muddy. Cliff got up there a couple hours before we did, and he did some maintenance work on the trail, kind of. We didn't. There's a place we like to camp where you park, and you're probably 30, 40 yards down a trail to get to the creek. Some of them you pull right up to, but That one sits back there in a nice place, and it's a little bit of work getting in and out, but
well,
worth it.
It's ideal for what we like. It sort of isolates us on the end of the campground. It's right by the water, and you park. You don't see any cars, anything.
No, there's no traffic, nobody going by.
So we got the tent set up. We're able to have our own tents and all. Big area, free camping. First come, first serve.
It is. It's the North Carolina Game and Fish or Wildlife Commissions do a tremendous job, and like I said, it is first come, first serve, and there's no facilities up there, of course, or anything else, but it's absolutely gorgeous area that I love.
It is beautiful. So we're going to prove it to you by showing you some of these pictures. So here we go. This is our first one. Just Bill, I'm going to let you do the play-by-play.
Yeah, that's my son Dalton. We're just getting out, you know, getting started there. Some still shots. There's a couple of videos of him with some fish.
Dalton, now let me interject here. Dalton is an excellent fly fisherman, and he has this passion for fishing, and you can see it here.
He does. He's been going for quite some time now, and he's really worked on it, and he wants to be good at it, and the truth is he is very good at it.
And the river was wait a minute, what is this?
Well, there's a lot of work that goes on around the camp, and that's pretty much where Winston stayed all weekend. I'm just kidding you, but I think that was after we had kind of hauled everything up there, wasn't it? Break time.
I think we just sort of that's our first time to sort of just kick back and relax a minute.
Yeah.
And our plan, what we did every morning, we'd get up. It was cold in the mornings.
It was still, it was in the upper 30s up that mountain during the night, and pretty cool first thing.
And our schedule would get up, have a good breakfast, cook right there at the camp, good breakfast, then we went out for a couple of hours fly fishing, 2 to 3 hours, come back in for lunch, of course made our lunch, and Dalton took care of us.
Yeah, he pretty much is cooking
did our lunch, and then fished the rest of the afternoon until it got pretty late, and then came in and
started cooking again.
Cooking again, and a very unstressful weekend. But relaxing was part of it. So this was
phones don't work up there.
I know.
Nothing works up there.
Isn't that great? Look at this mess of fish. Tell us about these.
Well, that was one afternoon. That's some of the bigger ones, and we do. Up there we only eat fish one night. And that's usually Saturday night or Sunday night, depending on whether we're staying Monday. And once we have enough to have fish one night, then we just put the creels up and we catch and release from that point on.
Now, tell us that big whopper on the bottom here.
Yeah, that's kind of unusual, in that Cliff caught that, had quite a battle with it. It's they're called humpies because of that back, and they're kind of a hybrid fish that comes, from the lake, and the males start to get that hooked mouth to them, but they eat well, and Cliff had that was definitely the big fish of the
the trip, and the rest of them, of course,
good solid. We had a lot of brook trout, as you can see, not too many browns this time, and a rainbow mixed in and out, but mostly brook trout. Or it's funny, they call them speckled trout.
Speckled trout. But that had a lot of meat. This is the night we cooked and all, and we filleted that one out. Yeah. And excellent.
Cliff does a pan sear that's really good. That's Dalton, and that's Taylor. That's Cliff's son-in-law, and great guy. They're very close.
Nice young man.
Yeah.
Really nice young man.
And constantly, busy around the camp. He doesn't sit around much.
And tell the folks what he does.
They're cleaning fish. Well, he's in productions. He's kind of like Jeff, but he used to be at the aquarium in Atlanta,
the George Aquarium,
and he's gone to work for that huge church up there. That he does all the production and the feeds, and it's pretty cool.
Interesting job.
They've got 12,000 members,
14,000
members, something like that.
All the stuff he does with that and all.
But he's in charge of the broadcast of all the sermons and the, they do 4 or 5 a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was telling me about that. So anyway, it's a real nice young man. But here, I know all the old timers know this is a sort of process of life and all, as far as camping and all. When we were young and all, we had to do all the cooking and cleaning and all that. And now these guys, the younger guys, do all the cleaning of the fish.
I hadn't cleaned a fish in quite some time.
We don't do that
or a squirrel.
And it's just a process.
We still do the dinner. I'm still the dinner. Cliff's the dinner.
Yeah, we do the chef part of the cooking, but they do the preparation.
Yeah, it's kind of nice.
Okay.
That's one afternoon that Dalton and Taylor were fishing together. And I'll tell you, that water.
That's what we're going to. Let's talk about the water condition.
Very high. It's as high as Cliff and I have seen it in the last probably 15 years.
This was my second trip.
Moving.
Well, that's what we talked about. This was on my second trip, and I got in there like I did last year, and all of a sudden that thing was just really strong, and I knew so much difference.
There, as you can see, you weighed against the movement, and the fish lay facing the other way, but. It was very difficult to walk, and those rocks are slick with the felt boots on, and some of them move, which is the thing I hate worse than anything. But you can. Well, there's a little bit. You're
going to slip as long as we fish. Everybody's going to slip a time or two.
You're going to get it wet at some point.
You're going to do that. In fact, Taylor. He slipped a couple times, didn't he?
He almost went backwards when he was fishing with Dalton, and he had a fish and had the rod high, and as he said it, Dalton thought he was going. That's the most dangerous thing, because you can hit some of those big rocks or boulders. You can get those waders filled up. You have to be careful.
Yeah, and there was a lot of difference this time. Let's take our final break. We'll be right back. Yeah. Okay, welcome back. Let's take a look at our fishing game time brought to you by Blue Water Outriggers. 12:30 to 2:30 this morning. We just passed that, but right after lunch, 12:58 to 2:58. And we're going to be doing some fishing pretty soon. But right now, let's finish up. We do need to go pretty soon.
Yeah.
Maybe like today or something. All right, last two pictures. Tell us about this one right here.
That's Taylor with the nice fish that he picked up out wading, and we had to change the strategy because the water was it's always fast, but the water was so fast that and high that the fish, I think, got a little bit tired of fighting it, and they started moving back to the deeper runs and the pools. So we had to adjust how we were fishing and start fishing woolly boogers and big things like that sank. And started working in the deeper holes. I mean, that's as fast as I've been in that I can remember, even back, from high school. But it's tough. It's kind of dangerous. But we just changed the way we fished.
And that's a nice little trout there. And we released. That's what we were already eating for supper. So we started releasing them right here.
Yeah, there's a pretty good pool run there behind Dalton, and that's kind of what we were doing, working that way.
Yeah. Now, Bill also brought some little short video he shot on the phone. Now, in addition, I took my camera, so we'll have a whole show on this whole trip, probably next Monday or so. We'll try to put it in our schedule. So right now, we're going to look at this short video, then we'll come back and finish talking about it. So, Jeff, let's go ahead and run this video.
Got it, boy? Whoop. I'm filming it.
All right.
Don't find me. Oh no. Hey! Good job. All right.
Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that. That's some good little video off your phone, right?
Yeah, well, that other little camera that I carry with me that's waterproof, and I happen to be able to snatch that. I was waiting beside Dalton, and he was working that pool, and had a couple of nice catches there.
You can see now in all these pictures we showed in this video, the one person not in it is the film man.
Yeah.
And that's what happened on a lot of our trips and all. So it was a good trip. We had a good time though.
Well, we had a fantastic time. Cliff always on Friday nights he brings pork chops, but you know they're 2.5 inches thick, and then we cook them on a grate out there, or Cliff does. And then so we all have our nights and the things that we do, and it's just once we go up the mountain, we never go back into town.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
we're there till we leave, and that's the way I prefer it to be.
If I miss your message or email and all during that period of time and haven't responded, I'll get back with me because that's what happened and all. But you do the same kind of things on the river. You can do this on the river where you're fishing and camping and spending some quality time with family and friends. I would encourage you to do that. It's just special.
Well, it's something that I really look forward to. And last fall was nobody could go. Cliff's a UPS pilot and flies overseas, and his schedule was off. Dalton, my other son, Austin, could go, but nobody could wind up going. So I popped off and said, well, I'll just go by myself, which is not smart.
No.
And I was informed of that by my wife, who loves to camp, by the way, so she went with me.
And y'all pulled a camper up there.
Yeah.
For one night. That's your 2 trips, first and last.
That was the same. Yeah, that's exactly right. That's never going. There's very limited space to put it.
Yeah.
And I way prefer being in a tent. And but Donna camps. We go during the summertime. I mean, she's camped. Last week we've been married for 35 years. She put up with me that long.
Happy anniversary.
So and we've camped a lot. Camped. And so she went with me, and she'll wade the streams, and she's not fly fishing, but making sure that I get out at the end of the afternoon.
Okay. Well, we got to start wrapping up. I know we got to do some speckled trout fishing real quick because this is a good week of tides.
There's a lot of things we have to.
Red fishing looking good, and we just all kind of things.
And still pompano out there.
Still pompano, and the river is about just to get right.
And I got a call that some mayflies had showed up in Dead Lakes.
Okay, there you go. That's all we need to hear. So
you can't do that all in one
If we do a lot of reruns coming in on the show the next couple of days, that's just going to be what's happening. Okay, a lot of reruns. All right, buddy. Thank you now.
Always, man. I enjoy it.
Always fun being with a good outdoor buddy like Bill. And I want to ask you folks to go and do some of the things with you and your family and just enjoy that great outdoors and always, do something good for your fellow man. Help them out in any way you can. You have a great day, enjoy the outdoors, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.